off the G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Well, welcome back. eSIM Studios Podcast Live Stream, episode number 185. This is a special episode, special podcast. Today we have the Pixel 9 Pro XL in studio. Now, give me just a second. Let me adjust this microphone. I should have had that done beforehand. Apologize. Very special day. So, if you're new to the podcast, if you're new to eSIM Studios, if you're new to myself, my name's Taylor Bell. I would like to introduce myself. I do have, I think, a few new viewers today. So we review technology, we unbox technology, we talk about technology. It's the whole purpose of this podcast. Discuss it, live stream. There's not many live streams in the tech sector of YouTube, so I wanted to introduce a daily live stream dedicated to technology. And I created this channel for you, the viewer, not just myself, actually for you. Today's a very special day. So there's 2 days that are very special in the tech world to myself, right? So, first and foremost, let me show you what I'm wearing. Yes, hashtag Team Pixel. Sorry, had to beat the camera because it's pretty quick. So there's 2 days, right? So we have Pixel launch day where it's called Pixel Day. And then we have my second favorite day, which might battle the favorite day. It's the day we actually get the Pixel. We actually get the phone. So I know most of my new viewers that are watching today are iPhone users. And I want to introduce to you the Google Pixel 9 Pro the right way. So if you are an iPhone user and maybe you've wondered, I've always kind of, I'm thinking as you, an iPhone user, I've always kind of wanted Android, but I don't really know which phone to get. It seems like a lot. Well, let me tell you right off the bat, if you by chance wanted to give Android a try, this is the phone to get. Not only does it have the best camera, right? Better than iPhone. Yes, better than iPhone. Better now than Samsung. Yes, definitely. Now, and look, it's the first day. I was gonna get outside and do a heat test to see if I can overheat it. It's 108 degrees outside. I stepped outside for a second. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's too hot. Tomorrow's supposed to be 101, so I'll probably do it tomorrow. Probably better than the OnePlus 12. We're going to test it. But getting back to the main point, today's a very special day. I believe this Pixel 9 series is the best ever, honestly. I am blown away by the build quality. I'm blown away by the way it looks. I'm blown away by how it feels in hand. And don't worry, I'll take the screen off of my ugly face and we'll do it. I have a camera set up here, looking down on the phone. It's right in front of me. Real quick. So if you're interested, you can buy them on the Google Play Store on Google's website. Here's a little tip. T-Mobile carries them in store. Now, I don't know what carrier you have. I don't know about at&t. I don't know about Verizon. T-Mobile carries the black only, no hazel. That's the one I wanted. I wanted hazel, but T-Mobile does not carry hazel. T-Mobile does not carry. I'm talking about in store. You can purchase the hazel online. You can purchase the white online, but physically go into store. So that's what I did. So I have a T-Mobile rep that I got in contact with last night, and I said, "Yo, what's the deal with these Pixels? Y'all have them in stores?" He said, "Yes, we're gonna have the Pixel 9 Pro, the small flagship, and the Pixel 9 Pro XL." But he said, "But only in black." I said, really? Only in black? He said, yep, that's all Google's sending us in store. I said, damn, that's weird. Only 256. So I was at T-Mobile's front door like back in the day when people used to wait for iPhones. Now, I didn't spend the night outside of T-Mobile. That's a whole nother level of crazy that I'm not ready to jump into. But I was there, right, a few minutes early, and essentially walked in with the T-Mobile reps. Now, here's a little side note and correction. My T-Mobile rep last night was incorrect. T-Mobile does not carry the Pro. T-Mobile has in store the Pixel 9, which is the smaller one, but doesn't have as many flagship features. It does not have the vapor chamber. The vapor chamber for heat dissipation is only on the 9 Pro and the 9 Pro XL. So they don't have the Pixel 9 Pro. He was incorrect. They have the Pixel 9 and the Pro XL. They only have them in black. He was correct on that, and they only have them in 256. Now, if you buy this XL from T-Mobile, they have it for $999. So they're selling this basically $200 or $300 cheaper than what you can get it for on the Google Play Store. So if that interests you, and if you buy it outright, you can request for a network unlock, right? Or you can add it on your plan, whatever you want to do. But T-Mobile has them. I also have the official case, phenomenal case. So iPhone users, if you want to dabble in the world of Android, this is your best bet, best shot, best comparison, best introduction to Android. So Samsung's got Android, OnePlus has Android, nothing has Android, but the Pixel brings a whole different experience. The Pixel is a more refined experience. The Pixel is what I like to call the iPhone of Androids. Now, take that with a grain of salt. I know some people are like, oh, don't compare us to Android. Don't compare the Pixel to an iPhone. It's better than the iPhone. I agree. But I'm just saying, for the iPhone users that are watching, if you want to dabble in the world of Android, get a Pixel. The experience is phenomenal. Now, let me show you the phone from top-down view, because this build quality is on another level. This build quality is on another planet. Let me go run and give me just a second. Let me go running. I was just looking around for my other Pixel, my older Pixel. It's in the other room. Let me grab it and I'll show you comparisons of how and where Google improved the build quality. Right. So let me go ahead and do the shot. Let me go ahead and give you the top-down camera. And then I'll go and run and get the Pixel. Now, let me make it a bit bigger. Pause. All right, give me just a second. Let me go grab the older Pixel. Hang on. Okay, I didn't want to waste too much time. I got a Pixel 7. I couldn't find the other one, so this is the first one I grabbed. First one I saw, so it's the first one I grabbed. But Pixel 7, Pixel 8, pretty much the same. Now, this Pixel 9 series, let me tell you, is on another planet. I know I've said that a couple times, but I'm telling you, there's something about this Pixel, when you first take it out the box, Google up to their game build quality wise to a level that I didn't think they could go, honestly. I'm blown away. And y'all know I have a ton of phones. I've gone through flagship phones, like premium phones, right? At any given time, I have 8 to 10 phones, flagship phones, thousands of dollars worth of phones. Don't attempt anything. I live in Texas, so I'm well armed here. Don't try to break in. Okay. So here's the Pixel 7. Let me show you the quality I'm talking about. So here's where they improved quality, right? No worries, you're not late. We're just getting into it. I had a long intro, so we're getting into it right now. Have you had every Pixel XL from previous generations? How do they size up compared to the current Pixel 9 XL? Yes, I've had every XL. Oh, let me put it this way. I've had every Pixel ever made, if that puts things into perspective. I've had every Nexus ever made. I've had the if y'all remember, the T-Mobile G1, Google G1. It's that slide out keyboard when the phone was actually tilted, like it was like a banana. It's kind of weird at the bottom. The very first Google phone ever made. I've had every Pixel ever made, right? A series. Now, I might have used it for 3 months and sold it, right? But I've purchased every Pixel ever made, from small to big, from A series to Nexus to the G1, right? So that'll put everything in perspective. So I believe I have a good idea, build quality, past, present. Pixel XL unboxing recommendation for iPhone users to use a Pixel if they are considering switching to Android. Yes. Still waiting on UPS to deliver mine. Correct. Is it today? Ours is coming UPS. Okay, so here's the deal. I got a Pixel 9 Pro, right? A pink one. It's for my daughter. That's coming UPS. I also bought another one, but I think I'm going to return it. So she was like, my daughter was like, I don't know if I want a bigger phone or a littler phone. So I bought a pink Pixel 9 Pro XL. So I'm a sucker for Pixels. So we have a pink Pixel Pro XL coming. We have a pink Pixel Pro. They are coming. Yeah, today. Okay. Well, if the door rings, man, you better jump on it. Keep tracking it often. Man, oh man. I know. It's a stressful thing. Now, I work from home, but I could imagine if you had to go to work. Sometimes I'll have them if it's delivered if it's delivered FedEx, you can actually have them drop it off at a Walgreens. I've done that, pick them up there, because they have to actually sign for these packages so it won't get stolen off your porch. Same thing with UPS. You can actually have them delivered to a UPS store. Now, you got to get to the UPS store before they close, but Walgreens, not every, but some Walgreens are 24 hours. I went to go pick up a phone at 3 in the morning one time. I remember at my 24-hour Walgreens. Anyways, let me zoom in here. Let's see. Where is my camera? Where is this thing? I got so many tabs open, man. Here we go. Yo, what is going on? Okay. How about right now? Whoops, that's wide. There we go. Okay, that's probably good. Any closer would be too close. So let's get into it. Let me show you what I'm talking about, for those of y'all that are wondering. Now, I haven't tested much, right? I basically got the phone earlier at 10. I left the store at 11. I was talking to the salespeople in there about Pixel. And you know what's weird? Each T-Mobile store only got two units. 2 Pixel 9 Pro XLs and 2 Pixel 9s. That's why I was like, well, shit, I got to get there first thing in the morning or else these are going to sell out, right? So that's what I did. But look, depending on what lighting you have it in, it's really interesting. It's a cool black. Like, it's the same thing with the hazel. That's what I wanted, the hazel. Sometimes in different lighting, it'll look like the white version. or a light silver, kind of like the iPhone, right? And then some lighting, it'll look dark gray. Now, this black goes from a dark black to a light gray, depending on the lighting that you have. And this is a matte finish, right? But let me get into the build quality. I hope I don't sound like a broken record, and I'll tone it down a little bit. The build quality on this is next level. You trust me, like Brian, Daniel, when you get yours in, you're going to be shocked. This is on another level. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So on the old Pixels, right? You got the camera bar, and then you have, and I'm talking about construction, like when they actually put this together. You got the mid frame, right? Which is the border of the device. So it's like a sandwich, right? You got the meat, which is the mid frame. You got the back glass, which would be these two parts. You got the camera bar, but that's part of the mid frame, right? So it's frame, camera bar, and then you got the glass, and then front glass, and you basically sandwich them together. Now, when taking this apart, may be hard to tell. But this top panel right here, right, on this Pixel 7, if I'm not sure if you can see it in the display from when you're watching this, but it looks like on this top panel, you can dig a fingernail in there and pop it out, or a knife, right, or a razor blade, right, and pop this off. On here, on this bottom back plate, same thing. You can tell where they basically glued it on there. You see that line right there? You can basically get a razor in there, pop it off, right? Display. Now, this display it's got a tempered glass screen protector on it, but if you go beneath that to the original display, you can see, and it's hard to tell because it's black, obviously. It's easier to tell on something like this. What is this? The lemongrass color. But from where I'm sitting, it looks like you can take a fingernail, razor blade, knife, and dig in between the glass and the mid frame, right? On this new one, it looks like everything is forged together. It looks like one unit. It looks like one piece. It doesn't look like 3 or 4 pieces like this that you sandwich together where you can kind of pop it off. Now, obviously, this back panel is just one panel, but it forges in. It sits so much closer to the frame, the mid frame here, that you can't even hardly see where it sits into the mid frame. Same thing with this front glass. It looks like it's one piece. Now, if there's one negative, and this is a personal preference that I have with this device or any of the Pixel series, the back is a frosted glass, right? It's not glossy like this, thank God. Now, if there's one thing that I would change, I would have liked to have seen the mid-frame, this part, be a matte color as well, because this is kind of glossy, right? Right here. It would be cool if that was all matte black and it would look like a Batmobile or a Bat phone, right? As you can tell, I haven't even signed into this. I haven't downloaded my apps on here. I'm going to do that tomorrow, start testing it tomorrow. There we go. So here's the display, 6.8-inch display. I have some other phones here that we will compare it to, but my God, is this badass. It gets even brighter when you're outside. I did a quick outside test, and it's, as I mentioned, it's 108. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's just pure sun blazing, basically setting everything on fire outside. In direct sunlight, this thing is bright as hell. I had no issues seeing the display in direct sunlight. Very, very good viewing angles. Very crystal clear display. I mean, this is, what is it? Unworldly? This is world-class build construction. This actually reminds me, and again, I hate to do this, but it reminds me of an iPhone 15 Pro Max. the flat edges, the flat sides, the flat back, the flat front screen. If I had to compare it to another phone, it would be iPhone. And now, I know some of us are like, oh, don't say that. But that's a good thing, right? So iPhone, whether we like to admit it or not, is they like to think they are the leader in design, right? They're like iPhone, they're all buttoned up and we have the very best phones. Yeah, well, take a look at this, because this rivals an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and obviously, in my opinion, is better. But it's just a work of art. I mean, trust me, and it's different. When you see this on screen and when you actually have it in hand, it's that much better. It's that much better. It is. It just flat out is. I haven't even taken one picture yet, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna put this case on. But here's the S24 Plus, right? 6.7 inch display. It does sit taller, but it's about as wide. So as you can tell, it's this much taller than a S24 Plus. So it's about a status bar, notification bar or two taller. Same width though, right? Look at that. Same width. Very similar in design, but the cameras are what set it apart. Now, I love this flat display. If you're a Pixel user for the last... the 8 was curved, the 7 was curved, the 6 was curved. Going back to the Pixel 5. So the Pixel 5 had a flat display. It feels so much better having a flat display. Now, it's not a traditional flat display. You see how this has right edges like a 90 degree. This has a 90 from display to the side. This S24 Plus has a 90 degree sharp right angle, right? See that? Now, this Pixel feels better in hand because look at this. Ever so slightly from display to the side is ever so slight. I mean, just the slightest amount curved, not on the side, but where that right angle meets, where that 90 degree angle meets. It's not a sharp right angle. It's a curved right angle, if that makes sense. But that makes a huge difference. Just that little, and it's on the front and back. And just that little curved right angle makes all the difference in the world when you hold it in your hand. And you've got that fantastic camera bar up there. You can sort of use this as a rest for your finger. And it is a perfect size. Now, they had a Pixel 9 Pro in store that I was looking at. Because at T-Mobile, they have where they keep their devices. They're in a timer in a safe that has a timer on them. So I had to wait there for like 10 minutes. Oh, the timer has got about 10 minutes to go. You know, in case they get robbed, people can't. The robbers got to sit there and wait, which they don't want to do, which is why they implemented that. But the Pixel 9 Pro is this same size. 6.34 inches, and this is a 6.4, so basically the same size, just in this design. So if you're wanting a smaller phone with the flagship experience, it's not it's a medium-sized phone. It's not a small phone by any means. So the S24 is a 6-inch display. That's a small phone. A medium-sized phone is like 6.3, 6.4. So the iPhone 16 Pro, the one that's coming out next month, the small flagship 16 Pro is going to be a 6.3-inch display. Same as this. Same as the Pixel 9 Pro. So they have this one. I prefer this. It's perfect size. But if you want something a little smaller that fits in your hand a little better, you're going to be completely satisfied with the Pixel 9 Pro. It's not that small. It's smaller, but it's not a small phone by any means. So it'll be exactly this size, right? Just in this style. Now, let's compare it real quick, and then we'll try that case on OnePlus 12. Now the OnePlus 12 is thinner, meaning it's, well, you know what? It's almost exactly the same. This just has a curved display, so it feels thinner. It's about just as wide, right? It's just, like I said, got a curved display. It's a tall... See, this Pixel 9 Pro XL can fool you. Because just looking at this OnePlus 12, you're like, well, shit, that's a thinner, taller phone. You put it together, and it's basically the same size. Camera hump sits out a little farther. Now, as you can tell, you're going to get fingerprints on this thing. I do have a Spigen case that should be here soon. And also, if you did get a Pixel 9 or a Pixel 9 Pro or a Pixel 9 Pro XL, I've been in contact with the case manufacturers, with my reps at each case manufacturer. We have everybody sending their full lineup. So we have Crave cases are sending me their full lineup for the Pixel 9 Pro and Pixel 9 Pro XL. I have Varinki sending Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, their full lineup. I have Nilkin sending me, I just talked to the rep, sending us their full lineup for the Pixel 9 Pro and Pixel 9 Pro XL. And there's one other, Thinborn, Caseborn, I believe. So, we're going to do giveaways. So if you're getting a Pixel 9 Pro or a Pixel 9 Pro XL, subscribe to our channel. And we'll do giveaways for these cases. So it pays to watch. Now, one last one real quick. Here's the big boy, the S24 Ultra. Size-wise, pretty close. And this is a huge phone. Now, it is wider. The Ultra is wider, as you can tell. I have the edges flush up here and the edges not flush down here, so you can tell the width difference. You can tell the width right there on the bottom. But height-wise, exactly the same. So it's not a small phone, but it doesn't feel that big. This S24 Ultra feels ginormous in the hand. This phone does not feel like it's this size. It just doesn't. Again, you have to give Google engineers, their R&D team, huge props, not only by the way it looks, not only by the construction, but how it feels in your hand. I'm telling you, I'm raving. This is unlike any other phone, not even unlike any other Pixel I've had. This blows away any other Pixel I've had, if you're still wondering. But this is a very unique feeling phone, I think, out of any phone I've ever had. I'm still trying to put my thumb on it, no pun intended. But it's out of this world. I don't know what it is about this thing. I can't even believe this is a Pixel. Like, honest. Wait, does it have a screen protector on it? It does not. I thought I might have a film screen protector. It does not. So here is the official Google case for the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Not cheap. $35. Hashtag Team Pixel. Hashtag Team Pixel. But let's throw it on. So this case is really, really nice. I actually love it. And if you're a viewer of this channel, you know I do not like Google Pixel cases. Like the manufacturer's case, do not like them. This is the first time ever in history I actually like a Google case. It has a felt. It has a felt, almost like a suede leather inside right here. Does not, now this is not a cheap case. This is not gonna, the inside's not gonna peel after a few months of usage. It's gonna stay in there. Look, I mean, it is a pretty penny, so the construction of this is gonna be good quality as well. You got cutouts for the mic, power Type-C, and your speaker here. Nice flush side right there, and the feel is phenomenal. Beautiful feel. It's real soft. It's grippy and soft at the same time. You got your mic right there up top, and then you have your power button, volume up, volume down, and then the nice Google logo right there. Also, camera protection. So we'll see in just a second. It comes up and over this camera hump right here. Let's go ahead and throw it in. Wow. That looks badass. What is that, tape I have on here? That looks badass. I'm so glad. I'm glad I got the phone, quite honestly. And I know I've been critical of Google, and it's not over it was basically over the CPU, right? And I think that's a fair criticism, honestly. But I've been using the phone, and it's fast as hell, right? It's very smooth. It's buttery smooth, just like the Pixel 7 Pro was. Just like the Pixel 8 Pro was. Buttery smooth. And just like the Pixel 9 Pro XL. So, yes, the CPU, look, it's not going to win any benchmark tests out there. But I truly believe it does not affect the performance of the phone. I just want to put that out there in the public, that if you're kind of, I don't, on the fence about getting this device, maybe, I don't want to come across and tell you don't get the phone because of the CPU. I think for what this phone does, the CPU is fine. Now, I'm not a gamer. I don't play games on these phones, so I may be the wrong person to ask when it comes to gaming. But for everything else, you're not going to have an issue with this CPU and GPU. I can honestly tell you that. Next year is a whole nother story. Next year is when I personally believe you're going to see that big 30% boost. You're going to see that big 40% boost in performance, simply because now they'll have full control on the Pixel 10 CPU, and they're changing the they're changing the company that's constructing the CPU. TSMC will be building it next year, and it'll be a whole nother ball game. But we still got a year to go, so let's get into this. Perfectly cutouts. You wouldn't expect any bad construction from a Google-made case and a Google-made phone, right? Yeah, there you go. You can kind of tell. Perfect. Everything perfectly lined up. I'll have case reviews. Like I said, Spigen was supposed to be here already, but I'll just save that case review for tomorrow. Now look at this. You can tell right here. Just barely comes up over that camera hump, which provides protection. You don't want it to be flush, and you don't want it to be lower than that camera hump, because when you lay the phone on its back, you move it around on a countertop. If you're at a park, family reunion, what have you, and they're outside, those little park barbecue grills, and then you got those park benches. If you have marble countertops, you don't want to lay a phone down on its back with no case, or a case that doesn't protect this camera bar, and then start moving it around. That's when scratches happen, right? So now, it's not much higher. It doesn't sit much higher than the camera bar, but it does. So it will provide you protection on relatively smooth surfaces like this. If you take it on a park bench, depending on what the construction is, if it's made of like pea stone or like pebble or something, be careful. But you can find cases on Amazon or cases on the internet where actually this is covered, only the cutouts are exposed. So everywhere else where you see the metal slate color is covered. So I have one little hole here, and a big hole for the sensors right here. You can find those online, and we will be getting some of those in. Now let's look at the front protection. That's a good view right there. Look at this. You do get a decent sized lip all the way around. Again, not a lot, but just enough to protect the device. Now, I ordered a really, really good screen protector on Amazon. I searched through all of them, basically all of them, and I will post that on a community post about what screen protector to get. It's a 0.2 millimeter thick. Most all of them, 99% of them, are 0.3 millimeters thick. The one that I got is a 0.2 millimeters thick. Why do you want a 0.2 over a 0.3? That means it's thinner. So your thumbprint, your fingerprint, when you unlock your phone, the less distance that light has to travel, the better. So the more distance, the more thick your screen protector is, the higher chance you have of it not reading your fingerprint correctly, right? Now, I believe it was like $20, so it is a little more expensive than others. You can find some for $6, but those super cheap ones are not real glass. They're not. They're like a plastic composite, right? The one that I got, that I chose, and actually innocn makes the very best screen protector for any phone, and they use real glass. They don't make a glass screen protector for the Pixel 9 Pro XL, unfortunately, just cases. So that's why I got on Amazon, read through all the descriptions, and chose the very best one. It's $20. It's 2-pack, but it makes a difference. It does. It's real glass, and it's razor thin, and there's no hole cut out. Thank God. I'm tired of that hole cut out. It's just one plane of glass. There's no hole cut out like on this one. Like in this Nothing Phone 2, how it has that cutout in the screen protector. This Pixel screen protector I got is just one piece of glass, no cutout, and that's good. Because the problem here in this cutout, you get lint, you get dust all up in there, and you can't even, like if it says your lens is dirty, you'll take your t-shirt and just clean the lens off, right, real quick. Like, I'm ready to go. Not with this hole cut out. You gotta have like a Q-tip to like properly clean it out, right? Who's gonna carry Q-tips in their pockets? Well, I have once or twice, but don't tell anybody. That's how big of a nerd I am. But the one I chose, no cutout, just a flat plane of glass, which is good because remember, it's real glass and it is crystal clear. So there will be no compatibility issues, or you will not get a blurry photo when taking a selfie. You do have a new 42 megapixel front selfie camera that we are going to use. So, anyways, if there's anything else, let's see. So Javon Sims asked, what makes this Pixel 9 exciting, but iPhone 12 to 15 design boring? I actually like, it's weird because I actually kind of like the way iPhones look, but I hate using them, if that makes sense. Like, looking at them, they look nice, but when I pick it up, I hate iOS. I just hate everything about it. I hate the way, well, I'm not going to get into it, but I hate using iOS. I think it's the stupidest operating system. Well, not the dumbest, but it's pretty dumb. Like, Android is way easier to use. I don't know, and I've used iPhone. My last 9-to-5 job, I had an iPhone for 3 years as a work phone that I had to use, and it sucks. Now, design-wise, iPhone has been stuck on the same design for so long that, quite frankly, everybody's getting bored of looking at it. I think they've long overdue for a makeover, and you'll see that not this year, but next year. Well, not even next year, because only one model is getting a new look, which is the iPhone 17 Air, and you're going to have to wait a whole nother year for the rest of the lineup to take change. So we're going to be stuck on this iPhone design for another 2 years. Hang on, I got iPhones I can compare to. Hang on. So, real quick, this is the 15 Pro, and this is the 14 Pro Max. Size-wise, 15 Pro, it's a lot bigger. It's a lot wider. It's a lot taller. It's hard to tell with my hands there because the white background sure does help. Can't really do it real good. So it's that much wider than the 15 Pro. I can tell it's sliding off. And it's this much taller. Well, you saw. All right there. Now, Pro Max. Wow, it's almost exactly the same. Look at this. So from the top down, it's almost exactly the same. Look at that. From the bottom, top, and then look, side to side. Got front, back, and side to side like UGK. There's the one side. There's the other. So it's almost identical to the 14 Pro Max and 15 Pro Max. Almost identical. And here's the height difference. It may be a hair taller. A hair. Look at that. Maybe a speaker taller. Literally just a millimeter taller. The bottom is flush right here. And look at the height difference. Not much. So if you have a 14 Pro Max or if you have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, basically the same design. Now, what makes it different? Going back to Javon Sims' question, what makes it different? Yes, iPhones have. See, here's the thing, and this is what I'm going to get to close it out. The build quality. This is where Google levels up with Apple and finally has a product that has the same build quality as an iPhone. Take that information, what you will with it, whether you think I'm correct or incorrect, whether you agree or disagree, or you're just sitting back saying, that's interesting. This is the first time I can honestly say superior build quality. Superior. Unmatched build quality. I don't know, and I got all these flagship Android devices here. I can't even start to think about which other phone I could compare, Android phone, I can compare build quality to this Pixel. I think it is unmatched. Something about it. And again, you won't be able to notice until you actually physically get one in your hand. You're going to say, oh shit, wow. I see what he's saying. Unmatched when it comes to Android, and the only other phone I can compare the build quality to is an iPhone. Android finally has an iPhone competitor. I mean, the operating system, in my opinion, is better than iOS. Now we have a phone that has build quality just as good or better than Apple has. Now, the difference is the camera. If the build quality is the same, exceptional build quality, then what's the difference? It's the camera bar. It sticks out pretty far, but it's telling you, hey, I'm a Pixel, and I'm ready to take the best pictures in the game. And I'll put a Pixel up against any phone. Hands down, best pictures. Cannot wait tomorrow. Don't have time today, but we're going to compare it against the OnePlus 12 outside, possibly iPhone. And as you can tell, I don't like using iPhones, so I don't even use them in my testing. It's just I hate Apple, and Apple hates me too. Don't get it twisted. They don't like me at all. Now, what do you say? Samsung build quality. It's pretty good, right? Pretty good. But this is better. This is better build quality. Again, something about it. It looks like it's just one forged piece of phone. Like there's no, and I'm sure you can pick it apart if you really wanted to, but you can't even, the seams it looks seamless, if that makes sense. And I think it matters. It matters how you look at it, and it matters how it feels in the hand. So this build quality is good too, but this is unmatched. Right? And you'll get that with the 9 Pro, the smaller one, and with this XL. Unmatched. My God. It finally got in. And the power buttons feel like, and that's the other thing too. Buttons. A lot of buttons feel cheap on Android, and that is a fair complaint. A lot of buttons feel like they may pop off at any moment, right? That kind of like with this $200 phone. It feels like if you push it too hard, it may push into the middle of the phone. That's one thing with iPhone they do very well. With Apple, is they infuse the action button, the power button, the volume buttons in very well with the phone, because on cheaper Android phones, it feels like the power button is separate from the phone itself, if that makes sense to you. Even with a high dollar Android phone, this is titanium metal on the side, right? Power buttons are like plastic. So if you have a S24 Ultra, you'll know what I mean. Because you can feel the real strong titanium metal, and then when you go to push a button, it's plastic. So that kind of ruins well, it doesn't ruin, but you can tell the difference, right? You can tell they're two different materials. On this, you have metal side, metal mid-frame, metal sides. The buttons feel metal too. Now, they're probably not, but what they probably did do is coat the buttons with a metal finish, right? So a lot of jewelry is done that way, where you'll have like a gold pendant where inside the gold pendant is like silver, but outside they coat it with a gold coating, so it feels like real gold. Well, it is real gold, but not 100% all the way through. Probably that's what Google did on here. So the buttons feel like they're metal too. Now, like I said, it's probably plastic on the inside or another material, but on the outside it feels like it's metal as well. And I've never, ever felt that on an Android phone. Ever. Where it basically rivals what you get on iPhone, right? So iPhone, you get phenomenal build quality, and that's one of the little things you might not hear on other reviews on YouTube are these buttons. They feel like it's a part of the phone, if that makes sense. Similar to what iPhone has, right? It just is. And I don't think any other phone is that same way. Yeah, because these kind of feel plasticky on the S24 Plus, OnePlus 12. Those might feel pretty good. Those kind of do feel like metal. But they feel metal, but they feel like you could pop them out, right? I think that's the deal. Like, they feel metal, but it feels like if you get a knife in there, you can pop it out. I'm telling you, this Pixel is out of this world build quality. Now, Pixel 7 looks like it does have... those might have a metal finish, but the buttons are loose. Like, you can move them back and forth a little bit. I don't think that's going to be the case with this. After using this phone for 6 months or 8 months or even a year, I don't think those buttons are going to get loose. Almost at a loss of words, and that rarely happens to me. But that's the Pixel 9 Pro XL. So I thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, if you're on the fence about getting one or not, you got a question, hit me up in the comments. My contact information's in the video description. I'm getting up early tomorrow just to go outside and do some testing before it gets too hot. Now, I'm still going to test this when in the heat to see if I can get it to overheat. But now that I watched that video that we reviewed a couple days ago where I got like 119 degrees, I don't think it will overheat. I don't think it will, but we'll give it a try. We'll see what we can do to push it to its limit, right? So subscribe to the channel if you have not. eSIM Studios. We also have an audio podcast. This in audio form wherever you get your podcasts. Search eSIM Studios, and we will pop up. If you missed this, simply go to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel and catch the replay. A classic, one episode I definitely won't forget, and it'll go down in our Hall of Fame for sure. So cannot wait to start using this thing. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to sign into this device, transfer my apps, transfer data, and start using this thing. Boy, I'm excited. So thank you very much. Join us tomorrow. I'm gonna have camera samples. Join me tomorrow and we will discuss. Peace out.